This is breaking down the Bible, the Hebrew Scriptures. Do you believe in a book? Do you believe in the Scriptures? Well, good, because you know that you are in now the next session of Hebrew Question and Answers of the Officer Wolfline. Most of you out there ask questions that can be simply looked up and researched very quickly online, and then you take that information and then you look behind those words. Whether you're looking in Strong's or the Blue Letter Bible or different types of Hebrew processes and dictionaries, you can look up these words that are in what version Bible you're in. The most popular one currently is the King James Version. I do challenge you to go look at different versions, but I also challenge you to start looking at the Aramaic or Hebrew form, which has a clearer meaning. So most of the stuff that's currently in English, it's a real dogma or dogmatic language. It's a mutt language, so to speak, because there's so many different meanings to certain words that it can mean different things in situations. And it was done like that on purpose. But if you go to the Latin form of these words, you're pretty much going to be spot on, or some parts of the Greek and in the Hebrew, you're going to be pretty much spot on because of the translation process. And some of them are translations. So that's an inside joke there. So you got to look some of these things up when you're identifying what you're trying to do out there in this world, especially in the world of Israelites. So without further ado, I did a teaching on Mother's Day, so I'm doing one on Father's Day, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because you should know it's already pagan. So when you look at these different holidays versus the holy days, you should know that some of these days are made up by these heathens, by this world. And you got to realize that some of these things that you're doing are not proper. So let me lay this on you just a little bit. Father's Day here in America is nonchalant at all. It's a nonchalant process because they've done so much to get rid of the fathers out of the households. So a lot of you should know that there's a lot of broken homes because the government wanted that, because they can't do nothing with a man inside your home. You got to get what I'm saying if you heard my other teachings about common law and the Torah. They don't want a man in the home so they can control it. They want the woman to control it because of the feminist movement, but that stuff is turning around to patriarchal. Under this feminist and matriarchal banner, you can see there's more churches and Christianity has risen. You can see the homosexual population has went through the roof, and in addition to thousands, hundreds of thousands of fatherless homes. I was speaking with someone the other day in reference to when you go online, when you see all these different NBA players and these football players, and this was years ago at one point when we start recognizing this stuff that was coming forth in front of us. But just the other day, as a reminder, we were going through these things about these fake holidays, is that most of the time when you see these things on TV, they got the mother up front. But where's the father? Where is the father? Where is the dad? Where is the daddy? Where is he? They rarely get the proper recognition when it should be daily, weekly, monthly. So there's one guy that they admonished, but he stood his ground, and his name is LeVar Ball. He has his own stuff out there, and he pushes his sons, and he's very proud of it, and he should be. But they attacked him so much, okay, that it made him look like he was less than nothing. But he stood his ground, though. They didn't know he is something, because he has a son that's in the NBA. So when you look at these things, it's a war on men, but that's slowly changing. So these are planned processes, people. Planned processes. So it was way before you and I got here. And then I don't want to hear anything about this thing about Colin Kaepernick. Okay, I saw that too. And this flag and all this stuff that they have on the games for on Sundays for fathers as well. Guys, the whole thing with military and Super Bowl and NFL, NBA is about money. Okay, it's a paid process. This whole Colin Kaepernick thing was just blown out of proportion when the man was taking a knee. And you already know Officer Wolfline, with the guy in the middle that does the salute, was an officer in the military. Okay? And been in more deployments than I'd rather to discuss as a combat veteran. I once was enlisted, and then I went over to the officer side. So who knows better about being in combat than somebody who was actually in combat? So I don't want to hear about that on this whole Flag Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, all of it. It's all false. Okay? It's all false. So I did see it. I'm putting it in the Father's Day video. I give you guys a lot of information in these videos, so I hope you're paying attention. So, if you're Hebrew, which is a language, or Aramaic, or Aramaican, or if you're an Israelite, or Yashadel, so I like to say Yahudim, but if you're in the house of Yashadel, it is simply a pagan holiday for this holiday right here. Our Father, the Most High, He's the creator. He's the only one of heaven and earth, the universe. He's only one. So when you go off and dip into these different ceremonies and festivals, you need to be careful what you're doing. It's just that simple. I'm not going to make this complicated. Okay? I'm not going to make it complicated. Make it very, very simple. So, the Most High, you need to have a relationship, what we call a relationship with Him every single day. Do you read His Word? Do you learn about Him? So every day should be Father's Day if you're talking about the Most High. But if you're talking about man, there's nothing wrong with honoring properly your father. He is the head. He is the head of the household. But some of you wicked women would say, well, I'm the neck. You're not the neck. You're the helpmeet. That's the problem, is that you want to control things. That's not your place. And your place is not behind the pulpit either. So just stop it. I see some of the comments. I don't want to hear that. If you want to have a proper, open discussion with logic and discussion of the scriptures, I'm all for it. But I'm not going to go into theory or theology because of your underlying non-complex version of thoughts. I'm not here for that. If you want to deal with the logic of facts, the way the book reads, the proper understanding of the scriptures, we can do that all day long. If you want to talk about the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, we can do that all day long. But I'm not going to sit up here and play into your feelings about it. The book says what it says. The meaning is what it is. So, when you look at this day for fathers, you got to realize that the fathers were pushed out of their homes. Such things as divorce, marriage, child support. The fathers, or what you might call the husband, gets the raw deal. Because you're marrying a deity when you have a marriage certificate. I saw it all the time traveling the world, how men would get screwed over. And I'd lend some helping hand to the situation. You have to be a man and control your kingdom. The bottom line is, it's your property. You gotta know this word property. I don't care if you've been divorced. I don't care if you had child support. I don't care. If you went into a marriage contract with the state and they were not full disclosure, it's a broken contract. It doesn't stand anywhere. I don't care if the state came in and took your children, which you should be saying property or sons and daughters. It's a false contract. It's a false belief. Who cares what they believe? They trespassed on your property. So we have a structure teaching about marriage. We have a structure teaching about the child support and divorce here in the United States. And you men can get remedy, proper remedy, because you are under some belief that some foreign entity can come into your home and take over. When the real fight is sitting right there in front of you, who you're farming your children with. She's a helpmeet. She's a helping hand on your farm. So if you look at it like this, one of your farm hands takes your tractor. Okay? They take your tractor and they take it off your farm. And they go down to the local enforcement office, could be the sheriff, and they're making you pay for the maintenance and care of the tractor, even though it's your tractor, while they use and enjoy your property. Now, a lot of you are not going to understand what I just said, but some of you who have the ears to hear will know exactly what I'm saying. Men, you have a seed that you sow. Just as a farmer sows the seed. You're just picking what ground that you're sowing on and developing on, and you have a helping hand. But in the scriptures, it's a helpmeet, the woman. The pisso or the Yeshaya. The woman or the concubine. Better known as wife. And woman, because I don't like to say the girlfriend boyfriend thing. That drives me nuts. Because girlfriend and boyfriend is a commercial term for acts of whoredom. You were courting back then. You were the man, you were the woman. There was no girlfriend or boyfriend. That's just loose things in Christianity that you can use to switch up on partners for sexual exploration. So you can do that all you want, but there's no proper value. These women, men, are supposed to come into your life and bring value, and you're supposed to stabilize value in your own home and then bring them in. This is not to see how many you can get. It's about building a foundation properly and bringing value to your home and then grow. If you have that much of an appetite, then you need to make sure you're able to take care of these women. And then do not just bring any woman into your life. You got to fill them out, test them out. Also, increase your relationship with the Most High. That Holy Spirit will guide you. It's on your inward parts. So this must be for somebody out there. I guess the Most High took me off what I was going to say these things I just told you. So hopefully this helps you in that manner that you're reaching for. Okay, so our Father, the Most High, the one of Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Our Elohim should be honored every day, recognized every day, because he is the one who breathes life. So know that these words ring true, and don't forget them. All right. So moving on, Father's Day is a pagan holiday. It was known as the Great Sky Father's Day. Part of the week of the celebration led up to the one portion of the summer solstice, which is coming upon us, or is upon us. The day was given over to celebrating the Sky Fathers providing human children with rich gifts of the sun for sacrificial means. It's all about pagan sun worship. It's just that simple. If you go look up most of these things, they like to sacrifice to these worldly so-called gods. Okay? That's all they were doing. Nothing much more than the Hasatan worship. Baal, the devil. They were only worshiping the sun. And they would make up their own deities and they would worship them. Okay? And none of them are alive, by the way. You got demons and spirits, but these guys would just make up things. In the second hand here, on the second paragraph, it says the Father's Day is simply another sun worship day originated from Nimrod around 610 BC. Then later carried on to the pagan worshiper Constantine. Father's Day normally is on the third Sunday of June in honor of the pagans' worship sanctioned by Constantine. This is correct in the research. Also, Constantine did a lot of different things. He's the one that actually moved the first day of the week in support from the people, because he wanted his own way. So they have their own so-called god, which is the sun. That's what they were worshiping back then. Like I said, I didn't want to stay a lot on this, because if you're an Israelite, Father's Day is every day. So it should be no big deal to you. But for those of you who are new that are coming in and asking these questions, this is what you're looking at. So stop going out there and spending your money on Sun Worship Day. Okay, why do you have to wait one day out of the whole year the Hebraic year or even the Roman calendar year to honor your father in good standing. So know that who your real family is, who your real mother, brother, and father is. They're the ones who are in this faith or in this belief system under the house of Israel. So you need to know that. Bloodline is not always family. So you need to go take a dive in the book of Matthew, preferably the 10th chapter. You'll get what I'm saying. So test this information. Go out there and do your research. But no, you have no right as an Israelite to be celebrating foreign festivals as such as this. And when I mean foreign, I mean heathen and pagan worshiping festivals. It's not like you don't fly into different countries and things are going on, but specifically for you, no. Therefore, is Father's Day pagan or not? Yes, it's pagan. Matter of fact, in this day and era, the fathers don't get enough recognition. The ones who are out here doing the work of the Most High and properly disciplining their sons and daughters, their property. Shemot Exodus 20:12. You can honor your father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which yahoshua ahkotee gives you or giveth thee. I did this in the other slide as well, back over in the Mother's Day. You guys got to make sure you start looking this stuff up, okay? Because when you're out there celebrating some of this stuff and you're doing all kinds of crazy things, you're false reporting and you're being an example to somebody who's watching you and you're not paying attention. This is why I put 23:1 in here on the Shemot Exodus as well. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. That's what you're doing. You're being watched. Everything's being recorded. And normally I use this portion for the Christmas stuff. Here in Jeremiah 10:1-3. Jeremiah, hear ye the word which Elohim speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Or yes, I like to say Yashadel, but we're in English. 2. Thus said the Elohim, learn not the way of the heathen. Be not dismayed of the signs of heaven, Shemaim, for the heathen are dismayed at them. They don't like this, guys. They don't like the fact that you're learning your proper heritage and history, and knowing that the original man, the original people, looked like Shakur Yahudims. They were dark men and women. The original man was dark, or what you might call in English, so-called black. I don't like to saying that because black has no lawful or legal standing in any kind of court. This is why you can't call yourself black all the time. You got to be in a certain setting to use that word black. Black is a status. And if you're out there doing applications, stop saying you're black and African American. Start checking white. Those are statuses. Just to give you a little parameter there. So if you know what this is in the book of Jeremiah 10th chapter, you know that this talks about that tree or Christmas tree. But this is forming fitting because I wanted you to know in 3, for the customs of the people are vain. Their customs are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. I want you to focus on that as well, because I want you to know that the customs of the people are vain. And this demonstration in 10:3, you can read all the way down. It talks about the tree. That this is a demonstration of the vain acts. So are these other customs, these other festivals. I hope you're getting this. I really do. Okay, so this is Public Law 97-280. Every time you go into court, you're dealing with Christianity. Some form of it in some way. My thing is, do you know who you are as the first original man? Do you know who you are when you're navigating through this wicked world? You got to know the difference between these synagogues, so-called churches, and the court. You don't even know they're one and the same. This conversation and more will be demonstrated over on Global Chat Daddy. So go get you an account and have a conversation over there. So this is Officer Wolfline. You can go to officerwolfline.com. You can like us, subscribe over there on YouTube, Facebook, and tweet it out. So hopefully this has helped you. Share the information. Share it well with facts, logical understanding, and more than all, spiritual understanding with the Ruach. All right. Be safe out there.